Well, hi, everybody. I'm Stephanie Dahl with Dahl Fisher, your estate planning, business, and real estate attorneys here. And today I am really excited to have Tonica Johnson with us. And Tonica has a service that it didn't exist that I was aware of when I was planning for college, and I wish it would have. But I'm so glad that she and I have crossed paths and I've gotten to know her recently and all the amazing services she can provide. So we wanted to do a little video to talk about what Tonica does and how it can help you and your teenagers. So thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
Thanks for having me. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So Tonica, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll kind of get into what you do and your path to get there.
Okay, yeah. My name's Tonica, and I own my small practice, Cardinal College Planning. My background is I was a high school English teacher, is how I fell into this. And I'm also a first generation college student myself. So I remember still myself going through college and how stressful and complicated and overwhelming the process was. And then as I was a teacher, I still saw the same thing happening with my students.
Mhm.
So yeah, I taught high school English for 7 years. And during that time, just kind of realizing what was going on with the current students and all the complications of the process, just kind of started seeing how can I help that? How can I figure this out? So then I moved into what I'm doing now as an independent college planning consultant.
Okay, so when we say independent college planning consultant, what does that exactly mean? What do you help with students?
So basically everything that has to do with college, I can help with. So this can start as early as freshman, sophomore year. Sometimes I work with families, just kind of already starting to go through that process of maybe what they want to do in college. So a major or a career, right? And then sometimes we can start strategizing earlier, making sure they're taking the right classes. We can get into the nitty gritty, but in general, for certain majors, they look at your transcripts and you haven't, say, taken a certain level of math. It might be a little more difficult to pursue that major. And well, if you don't start taking those classes earlier, you might not get in that higher level class by senior year. So that could be an issue. So everything from taking the right classes, and then as we kind of ramp up the process, I do, depending on the student, of course, some students do have a better handle on what they want to be when they grow up, all of that. But a lot are like, I don't know. And I think that's great to not know and want to explore. But my big thing too with college is hoping that their degree is useful, right? I think how many adults do we all know that aren't doing what their degree is in? And it's fine. I'm sure they're doing okay. But I think most people would agree that they would prefer if they had gotten that MBA earlier, or whatever it was, it would be helpful. So a lot of times just trying to figure that out. And also the why, I do some students are like, I want to do nursing. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool. What led you to that? My aunt does it, and Grey's Anatomy looks nice. We need a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we do some counseling with majors, and I want to help my students avoid transferring colleges too.
Mhm.
Again, is it the end of the world? Did you really mess up if you need a transfer? No, but often that can again be more time, more money you're losing out on, all of that. So we do a lot with the majors and planning for that. Because also then you would think college, the first thing you're going to look for are strong programs and what you want to do. So if you know what you want to do, that's going to be helpful also. It helps students build out their college list. So again, it's kind of like a fluid, ongoing process. Some schools that they're maybe interested in. I really love the process of maybe I can point out a school that they didn't know existed. I think sometimes it's just so common to know the big name brand schools or the flagship state schools, which are obviously great schools, but there's also, I mean, literally thousands of schools in our country, and probably most people can name I don't know, 10, 20 maybe. Well, what about all the others? So helping them build a list that's going to be a good fit for them. And then senior year applications, right? That is just a crazy busy time. So it's nice that I get to keep them on a timeline, make sure they're not missing out on due dates. Of course, proofreading their applications, helping them with the essays. That's a big point of stress for a lot of the students is their essays. So I help them with that. And then we can get into a little more detail, but the financial piece is something that's near and dear to my heart and a big reason of my passion behind this. So helping them maximize their financial aid, making sure they're understanding their offers, and making that final decision that's a good fit for them, again, academically, but also financially.
Well, and I think that's huge because as parents, I have two little ones, so, 4 and 6, so we're a little ways off from college, but you're always thinking about saving for college and planning for that. And I think the latest statistic I heard was something like it will, on average, cost about $250,000 a kid, which hurts my heart, deeply.
Absolutely.
But, and so I think having somebody who can help, and so part of what you do, right, is you walk through like, where can you go that meets kind of the criteria that you want in a university or college? And then what are the costs and where can we get scholarships, financial aid, kind of a comparative analysis, if you will, I guess, on all of those things so families can make the right decisions for themselves. Is that a fair kind of statement on that?
Absolutely, exactly what you said. Yeah, because there's just so much that goes into it. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It is complicated, maybe on purpose. I don't really know, or maybe it's just the way the system is. But yeah, and the sticker price, you see, it can be so scary. I mean, right? Colleges are some of the most expensive ones. Are tipping at $70,000 a year, right? And like you said, times four. I mean, it's scary. It just is. But also, yeah, you don't know what you don't know, and there are so many strategies out there. There is a lot of money out there. I'm not going to make it sound like it's so easy to get a full ride and college is going to be free if you work with me. But there is, again, plenty of opportunities out there that if you look in the right places, the right schools, you understand what they're looking for, what it takes to earn this scholarship money, because it's not always perfect grades. I think people think you need perfect grades, or if your income's too high, you won't qualify. And that's just simply not true. So yeah, like you said, it's a lot of analysis, a lot of strategy. And then we want to create that really well-balanced list that is going to have schools that are known for giving out better financial aid and things like that. And then you put it all together at the end. We have a really fun little spreadsheet at the end to kind of show. And the other things sometimes we don't think about, right? We're in Colorado, and yeah, maybe you want to go to school in Florida, and maybe you can afford that, and that's all good and well. But you got to know every time you're going, that's a flight, things like that. Some kids sometimes come home if they're local and can eat dinner on the weekend, or mom can pack a big frozen thing and take it to go, or laundry, all those little costs. Well, again, if you're super far, you have to consider those, especially now in this era of COVID and all that. There's just a lot to process and think about. Textbooks, I'm sure you've heard. I mean, those can be, they see on average is about $1,200 for a year. And just, that's crazy, just to think books. So yeah, we do a lot of that planning of just what is this really truly going to entail and cost us.
Absolutely. So tell me, when's an ideal time as a parent to say, okay, Tanika, let's sit down, let's start looking at all of this. When's a good time to start?
Yeah. So it will vary family to family, of course. I know there are some consultants that will start working with families even before high school. I don't. I still have a little, I don't know what the word is. I want the kids to enjoy life and have fun and all that good stuff. Now, financially, of course, there's kind of two different parts of this. Like you said, you have your littles and you're already thinking about the cost. You don't really care maybe where they go, what they're going to be yet, but you are thinking, oh, this is going to cost me. So yeah, if you're looking at just the financial piece and kind of planning and working with a financial advisor, of course, that can be as early as they're born. But in regards to the college planning and strategy and all of that, for me, freshman year is the early I start. And that's, again, pretty basic still, though. I only usually, even through a consultation, I can kind of talk to the family. This is what you can be doing this year. And it's much more common for me. I start working with families sophomore, junior year, sometime in there. Later is okay. And I have services that's basically kind of geared towards seniors, just those applications, essays, looking at financial aid packages. But if we're talking strategy, finding a good fit, finding a school that's going to offer the money, the sooner we start that, the better. And again, that's most commonly junior year. And then getting a little head start and a little before junior year is great too. Junior year still would be a good enough time for us to have like a year to look at all the schools and try to find best matches for them.
Okay. Okay. Well, and I would imagine too, my mom, bless her, did so much research for me when I was going to college, and I went to CU Boulder, go Buffs.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I remember her telling me was, if you get 3 years of a foreign language in high school, you don't have to take it in college.
Okay.
And so at CU. And so I was like, okay, check, get those done. And so I would imagine part of kind of when we talk about this process is that's a little bit of what you do of, you probably are going to need these prereqs to get into, whatever major or whatever school you're looking at. Because right, you may get into University of Colorado, but to get into where I went, the Leeds School of Business, you need to have X, Y, and Z. So it's just a little bit of a different process. And so I know that was super helpful because I needed to know that basically freshman or sophomore year. Otherwise, I couldn't complete it all by the time I got to college. So,
Yeah,
and it
exactly.
was great because I didn't
Yeah.
want to take college level Spanish. That is
Oh,
not a skill set of mine. And so it
you're
was
not fluent? Oh, I didn't know.
no, no. I know enough to be super dangerous, but I remember everything from when I was little, colors, numbers, those kind of things. Where's the
Okay.
bathroom? Um, yeah. Okay. So how do people work with you? How could they reach out to you and contact you?
Yeah, so I can give you, my website and all of that information. So it's just cardinalcollegeplanning.com, and I can just give you my email too. I always do a free consultation. I mean, I would never just take someone on. We got to chat, make sure I'm a good fit for their student. We get along, that kind of energy. And then just make sure too that they genuinely need the help. But, if someone, I've met I've usually met parents that have gone to work. They drop their hours like part-time during this whole college stuff so they can help their kid out extra. It's like, you're already doing that. Maybe you don't also need my services.
Right.
So we just kind of chat about what they're looking for and what they need. And again, there's different packages and options to try to fit families where they're at, to kind of see, if they already know what schools they want to apply to, then again, I don't need to do that part with them. We can just do applications. So we always do the consultation. And I can give you my information to post that. And then that usually is about 30 minutes. We just kind of talk about, again, their needs, if I can help, how I can help, timelines, everything like that. And then if we are a good fit, we kind of start moving forward. And if not, then sometimes if I know someone else that can help them, or I'm usually always available to, email anything. If people have quick questions, I'd be more than happy to help them.
Awesome. Well, Tika, thank you so much for being here. This is a huge service and a huge help to parents because, quite frankly, the savings in terms of figuring out scholarships and financial aid and packages for different colleges and stuff, I know completely offsets any costs to hire you. So I would strongly encourage this. I have encouraged my friends who have older kids. I got to wait a couple of years, but we will get there. I won't let them grow up too fast. I'll let them enjoy their childhood before we get there. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And we'll put all of your information in the chat so people can reach out to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. This has been great.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.